Okay, so the first session that we're doing today is the history of the victims' rights movement. We'll start out by getting an idea of what crime looks like in the United States. So these numbers are from the Uniform Crime Reports, UCRs. If you're a criminal justice major and you don't know what the UCR is, we're going to have a talk later, okay? So Uniform Crime Reports, right now as of 2012, so it wouldn't be right now, it would be a year or so ago, we had over 311 million people in the United States. With that, in the year 2012 came 1.2 million violent crimes committed in the United States. That works out to be about 387 violent crimes per 100,000 people. That also then breaks down into the various kinds of violent crimes. So you have murders, 14,000 or so, 84,000 forcible rapes, 354,000 robberies, and 760,000 aggravated assaults. Property crime. 8.9 million property crimes across the United States in 2012. That breaks out to be a rate of about 8,200 property crimes per 100,000 people. 2.1 million burglaries, 6.1 million larcenies and thefts, and 721,000 motor vehicle thefts. These numbers come from the National Crime Victimization Survey. Now, I'll give you a little bit of a slack. If you are a criminal justice major and you've never heard of the National Crime Victimization Survey, I'll give you slack because maybe you haven't had a class from me. But the National Crime Victimization Survey, unlike the UCR, so the Uniform Crime Reports are police departments who are reporting the crimes that were reported to them, and they send them off to the FBI. The NCVS is where the Bureau of Justice Statistics, really the U.S. Census Bureau, contacts citizens directly and asks them on a 6-month basis over a 3-year period, have you been the victim of a crime in the last 6 months? So what that does is that captures crime that has been reported to the police, but it also captures crime that happened that hasn't been reported to the police. And we know that roughly half of all crime never gets reported to the police. So when you look at the UCR, really that's the amount of crime that the police have to deal with. This is the amount of crime that citizens deal with. So you can see around 6.8 million violent victimizations. If we go back, reported violent crimes, 1.2. Big difference between what's reported and what actually occurred. That was an 18% increase from 2011. The interesting thing is that was also a 44% reporting rate. That meant only 44% of those 6.8 million violent victimizations ever got reported to the police. That means the majority of people are not reporting the violent victimization they experienced to the police for a variety of reasons. Property victimizations, 19.6 million property victimizations, 8.9 million that the police know about. That was a 15% increase from 2011. Only 34% of all property crime is reported to the police, right? So you have to do the math. 64% or 66%, I can't do math this morning, 66% only never get reported to the police. So what does it look like here in Idaho? Well, in 2012, we had a population of 1.5 million. We had 3,300 violent crimes that were reported to the police, 207 violent crimes per 100,000 people. Now, the city of Boise is about 200,000. So that means that in 1 year, if you use that same statistic, in 1 year here in Boise, we'd have over 400 violent crimes in a year. There were 29 murders statewide, 479 forcible rapes, 243 robberies, and 2,500 aggravated assaults in the state of Idaho. Property crime in Idaho in 2012, 31,000 property crimes. That works out to a little over 2,000 property crimes per 100,000 residents. Okay, do that math again. That means here in Boise, we'd be looking at over 4,000 property crimes a year. And I'm just talking about the city limits of Boise, not Meridian, not Eagle, not, unincorporated Ada County, not Cuna, not Star, none of that. Just here within the boundaries of Boise. 7,100 burglaries in the state of Idaho, 23,000 larcenies and thefts in Idaho, and 1,300 motor vehicle thefts. Those numbers represent about a 1.8% increase in crime in the state, across the state last year, or in 2012. These numbers always lag behind 1 year.